Perfect.
We are on.
All right. So, welcome everybody. I don't know what the date is. I always do this. It is August 16th, and this is the Ambition Army and Fierce Fit Pride team call on the road to Diamond and also Business Builder. And we're going to also be addressing some of your roadblocks, your fears that you may have when it comes to finding business builders and also just being a business builder yourself. So Lindsay and I have been really, really excited to talk to you guys about this because we all know that, especially in Team Cut Month, we set our sights on the prize and we all have these big, shiny goals. And sometimes we tend to lose sight of the groundwork that needs to come before we reach those big, shiny goals. Namely, that big shiny goal being diamond, for example. I know obviously it's super exciting to be recognized for rank and that title, but there are some really fundamental things that need to come first before you can think about hitting diamond and achieving it. I think one thing Lindsay and I really want to hammer home tonight is just that when you are striving for diamond rank, you really need to have that mentality of you're looking beyond diamond, because diamond is so easily lost. And when you focus on the leadership ladder, which is what we're going to be diving into tonight, and you focus on, like I said, that those foundational elements that we're going to be talking about tonight, I think, or I know actually, that it's going to be that much more fulfilling for you when you do hit diamond, because it's going to be something that's stable. It's really all about creating sustainability within your network. And that's something that for a lot of people is missing, which is why, when I say a lot of people, I don't mean you guys. I mean a lot of people in the network. They get so caught up in this idea of hitting diamond and using friends and family members to hit it. And then before you know it, poof, it's gone. And they're like, but I put in the work, and they're, like I said, they're sort of missing the foundational components of it. So anyway, we have a Google Slides presentation, just a few words on it and stuff. And I'm a visual person, so I sort of like to have this little bebop up when I talk. So I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Okay, so I'm not going to expand it just because I like seeing your beautiful faces. So first things first, let's talk about Team Builder. And I put Business Starter up here also because I wasn't sure, who is going to be on the call. And I just want to briefly go over what Business Starter is. So Business Starter, to be a business starter on the leadership ladder, this simply means that you need to be bringing in at least $100 worth of commission every month. You've hit Success Club 5, and your highest paid rank is as a coach. So you're not an Emerald quite yet. Then we move into Team Builder. And this is like really where you want to shift your focus to, not just for yourself, but also to know, okay, if I'm going to create sustainability within my network, if I'm going to achieve diamond, this is the person that I need to bring on. I need to bring on team builders, okay? Once you yourself have established that, that place on the leadership ladder. So, when you are a team builder, you are earning at least $250 a month in commission. Now, there are a few ways that this can happen. This can happen from getting 5 people started with a challenge pack, with the $40 commission on a $140 challenge pack, or a $50 commission on a $160 challenge pack. It can also happen from team cycle bonuses. And you're only able to cycle and earn team cycle bonuses once you are an Emerald coach. So as you see here, also, your highest paid rank has to be as an Emerald coach. So to be a team builder, you need to be at least an Emerald coach. Also, you're hitting Success Club 5, okay? Now, if we look at this column down here, it says PS, meaning PS coaches, with at least 1 Success Club point, okay? You need to have at least 2 people in your downline earning at least 1 Success Club point. So again, I just want to reiterate this. You're an Emerald coach. You're hitting Success Club 5 at minimum each month, and you have at least 2 people in your downline with at least 1 Success Club point each, okay? And then it also says week leg volume. You need to have 200 team volume points on your week leg. So how can you achieve that? Well, if people enroll as discount coaches or even as active coaches and they continuously stay on Shakeology, or they have an order of 50 PV at least going out every month. So one thing that I tell my people on my team is, maybe they don't want to continue with their Shakeology. Sometimes this happens. But also know that there are all kinds of other things that you can offer them. Maybe they want to change up their program, which could possibly give you that 50 PV for that person. Or maybe they want to invest in the performance stack with the Energize and the Recover. That's going to give you, I forget, I think it's, maybe it's 50 or maybe it's 80. I forget off the top of my head. But regardless, when you have a discount coaches or active coaches in your downline who are continually, staying on like a home direct order, that's just going to happen naturally. You're going to naturally accumulate that 200, those 200 team volume points on your week leg, okay? So like I said, this is what you should be striving for. And then know when you're looking to invite people to the business opportunity, I really encourage you not to go into it thinking, okay, I'm going to invite anyone and everyone to this business opportunity because A, I'm desperate to recruit people who are interested in making a little money. Because let's face it, you guys, this business is not for everyone. Not everyone can be good at this business. That's just the reality of it. And also, you want to recruit people who are going to do this as more than just a hobby. I know when I first kind of started out as a coach, one thing that I thought was like the best thing since sliced bread was really hammering home that idea of telling my people there's this thing called refer 3, get yours free. In other words, you can refer 3 people and I can get them enrolled underneath you. And then you're going to get the cost of your Shakeology covered for that month. And that worked for a little while. I had a few enrolls here and there, but those people, like, poof, they're like not even in my downline anymore. Like, you can't manage other people's accounts just to maintain your diamond or just to, have people with other discount coaches under them on your team. You want to be looking for somebody who is in this to meet this criteria, the team builder criteria, who wants to have their first success in their first month and, work towards success starters, okay? So let's talk about some roadblocks. Roadblock number 1. I'm not even able to consistently hit Success Club myself. So how the hell can I help other people do that? And I just want to start by saying that, we all start from the same place. No single person is at a higher advantage than anybody else. I was talking with Lindsay about this earlier today, that, the people who have earned Success Club for 50-something or 60-something consecutive months in a row, they don't have some secret sauce that we don't have. Really, all it comes down to, for starters, you need to make sure that you're believing in the products, which I think at this point we all already do. We need to step outside of our comfort zone and push past that fear of growing our network. I know that, that's something that I've talked to my coaches about personally. That can be a scary thing. I know that I didn't grow my network as soon as I probably should have. And then also, one thing I was talking to Lindsay about earlier today was don't settle for no right away, Okay. And the reason why I say this is because behind every no, behind every objection, there is like this tucked away, hidden like little fear, insecurity nugget where you're like, okay, this person lacks confidence with this. If a person, for example, I was showing Lindsay some examples today. I have a person who, was in the 3-day country heat sneak peek and was like, I'd really love to do this, but it's just so expensive. I made a conscious choice to, spend several minutes sending voice recordings to this person, explaining to them where they'd actually be saving. And I took a look at, what her fear was, what was holding her back, and I responded to that thoughtfully and obviously related to where she was, because I know that when I got started, I was a little concerned about, would I be able to afford this financially? I'm not sure. And this is somebody that I had been forming with for over a year, guys. And the difference between my approach with her in recent weeks compared to my approach with her, a year ago or in consecutive months over the course of the year is that I knew she was interested in starting a healthy lifestyle. So I just kept reaching out to her. I kept sending those follow-ups. But recently I decided to take the time to really explain to her, this is where you can be saving. I understand where you're coming from, and really, just meeting her where she is at. I feel like all too often when we think about, I can't even hit Success Club, it's like, well, are you really taking the time? And this may not apply for everyone, but are you really taking the time to speak to people's fears and people's insecurities and relate to them? Because that's really going to be a game changer for you. And I know that it has been for me this month at least. So, I think that's all I have for that. So Lynn's, we've got the next one. You're muted.
Sorry, I've been chatting in the text box with people, so stop chatting. Okay, so roadblock number 2, are you having fun with your business? Are you integrating all aspects of your life and who you are to attract the right people? So for this roadblock, really what I wanted to kind of hammer home here is that I think sometimes when we start coaching, we think that we have to do a certain thing. We have to, do the vital behaviors, which of course is important, but there isn't this one size fits all thing. If, for example, Facebook isn't your thing, try Instagram. Where are you happiest? Where does your brand fit in to the Beachbody world? Don't make Beachbody fit into your world. Put yourself in a place where you feel good and you're having fun. I love to use the example right now of Lisa, because she's done this amazing rebranding of herself, I feel like. And we've had lots of conversations together because we're very similar in a way that sometimes Facebook kind of drives us crazy. And so we had these brainstorms okay, what could we be doing differently? Maybe this isn't the best place for us. Maybe we should start exploring other places. And I think it's an important question to ask yourself, how do you want to run your business? And are you having fun with the way you're running your business? Don't ever make it feel forced. If something doesn't feel right, you're not going to put off the right energy. People are going to see right through it. If you're forcing it, if you're being fake, if you're doing what you think you have to do, it's not the right angle to go. You have to be yourself. You have to put yourself out there in a way that feels good. So, just make sure, sit down with yourself and say, who are the people out there in what social media platform that inspires me? Why do they inspire me? And then sit down and say, well, what could I be doing to not do exactly what they're doing, but kind of emulate in a way that, your own brand kind of fits into that. Does that make sense? Does anyone ever feel like maybe I can't see everyone's hands, but does anyone ever feel that they might be, I don't know, things feel forced, or that it doesn't feel quite like them? Maybe you could put it in the chat box if you feel that way. Sorry, I was like having little conversations with everyone, so I'm like, okay, so think about that though, and then we can move on to the next one if you want, Meg.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to mention is like, so integrating all aspects of your life and who you are, like, I know, I mean, and this obviously piggybacks on what you were saying, but you know, I know for me, like, I've been struggling with that too because of my, my passion for teaching. And I always say, like, oh, like my classroom just looks a little different now, but I really want to like infuse my business with this classroom feel, like I just want to change things up. I have my chalkboard behind me that I just put up because like I'm serious, you guys. Like I really want to infuse my business with this chalkboard feel, this teacher feel, and get creative with that. And so like if you have another job or if you have other passions, like totally just let that permeate your business, because that's when it's really going to get fun for you, and it's just going to attract obviously those people who are like you too. It's like two birds, one stone. You have fun and you bring on the right people who are going to want to be, that business builder. And it's going to show the people like you who maybe have another job, maybe have the same job as you, that they can do it too. Like, oh, this person looks like they're having a lot of fun with this part-time job, and they have all these other things in common with me. Like, why wouldn't I be able to do that too? So, and one thing, I know this is like totally backtracking, just in case anybody hasn't taken a peek at this in your Coach Online office. I'm sorry, Linz, to go back, but and I had it up because I was going to talk about it on the first slide, but in your Coach Online office, if you go to news and training and you click on training, the leadership ladder is here. And if you want to learn more about Team Builder, you just click on learn more, and it breaks it all down for you. Do this, know this, learn how, etc. So I just wanted to show you guys where that is if for some reason you haven't taken a peek at that. I think it's definitely a helpful resource.
And so to add to that one too, because I think that I was just reading what Brenna put too about passions and things like that. And I kind of have a little like exercise that everyone could do if they wanted to. Like, think about your life and the things that you really love right now, whether it's about fitness and health or whether it's about another job you have, things like that. Imagine if like money weren't an object. Like imagine you had complete financial freedom of time to do whatever you wanted. What would you do with that? How would you give back to the world? And I'm talking beyond Beachbody. Like I'm talking like literally, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? And I'm kind of bringing it back to a conversation I had with Stephanie Pierce one time, because she loves working, with kids and in counseling and the whole thing. And sometimes though the politics of it all, I hope she doesn't mind me saying so, the politics of it all can kind of get to you in that sort of environment. And she's worked very, very hard. And, obviously she would love to work with kids for the rest of her life in some way. And so what if Beachbody, which I shouldn't even say what if, because I know that Beachbody will give her the financial freedom and the freedom of time where she can work with kids in the way she wants to work with them without all of the other BS that she doesn't like about what she's doing right now. So think big, you guys, like think that big. And if you start sharing little nuggets of your future, it doesn't need to be happening right now. It's about sharing your dreams, sharing your passion, sharing the thing that you know will happen someday in the future, the life that you want, the life you're going to live by design. And once you start sharing those little nuggets, people are going to be like, ooh, that's kind of like my dream too. Maybe I should connect with her because this sounds kind of awesome. So I kind of challenge you all to kind of think beyond the challenge pack, think beyond the box, think about, gosh, if this actually does work out the way I want it to work out, what could I do with my life?
Absolutely. And you saying that similar to Stephanie, because obviously I was a teacher too. And we were talking about this earlier, like I left because of all of that BS. And my vision initially was, I wanted to create this studio someday where I could, bring in families and children and teach them about self-regulatory strategies and do alternative therapies like yoga and art therapy and all this other stuff. And I haven't talked about that in a while, like these are my passions. This is what I loved doing inside the classroom. And so I think I smell a post coming on. So thanks for that one. So, all right, roadblock number 3. I'm afraid that people think I'm just out to get their money, and or I'm afraid of how people will receive my invites to this opportunity. And I've heard this a few times, you guys. So, I mean, even if you're not the person who has said this to me, maybe it's sort of kind of on your mind. Maybe you're feeling a little icky about it. And we don't want you to feel icky about sharing this opportunity because, I mean, for so many of you, I mean, for all of us on this call, you wouldn't be on this call if this opportunity hasn't touched your heart in some pretty profound way. Am I right? Like, let's be real, okay? What I want you to think about when you're reaching out to people is not that you're out to like get their money or that they're thinking that, but if you're coming from a genuine heart place, because this work is heart work. If you're coming from a heart place and you truly want to help that person on their health and fitness journey or help that person, find their way out of financial struggle, you have to know in your heart of hearts that you only have that person's best interest in mind. And I say this to my coaches all the time, like there are so many people out there who go to bed at night and they are praying for people like you to extend a helping hand, to offer them an opportunity, even just to, pay their groceries every week, offer them an opportunity to learn to love themselves again, to start taking care of themselves again. So I can't like hit that home enough that if you are thinking that people have it in their head that you're just out to get their money, then I really want you to backtrack and, make a list of all the ways in which this opportunity has changed your life and a list of all the ways in which you plan to have this opportunity change your life moving forward, your bigger vision, etc. And all the ways in which that it can help somebody else's life. And, the other thing that I wanted to mention is don't be afraid to mention this opportunity casually right off the bat. When you go to enroll discount coaches and you do your little discount coach rap, whatever it sounds like, where you're like, oh, just so you know, I actually have this opportunity to enroll you as something called a discount coach. This is how I enroll my family and my friends. And, you're not obligated to be a coach. You get your 25% discount, But, just so you know, there is an opportunity to earn a little extra income in this business if that's something that you might decide at a later time that you'd like to do. I'd be more than happy to chat with you about that at some point if that's something that you think you'd like to explore down the road. Don't be afraid to plant that seed. I plant that seed every time I get a financial objection. I plant that seed every time I mention the discount coach opportunity, because then once they're, in the challenge group and they're a few weeks in and they're seeing those results, you can ask them without feeling icky about it. So are people like talking to you about, what are you doing? And are asking you, what are you doing? And telling you that you look freaking awesome. And I didn't know if you had given any thought as to whether you might like to share this with other people, to share your journey with other people, maybe make a little extra income doing this. Like you're getting awesome results, you're posting in the group, like you're doing what a coach does, you're just not getting paid. This is something you can do, on a part-time basis, et cetera, et cetera. So it makes that conversation a little easier when you sort of present it right off the bat. And Lindsay, I know that you mentioned that, Stephanie has had a lot of success with that as well. I don't know if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Stephanie started, and Elizabeth Hill, I mean, a lot of the coaches on the team have started right away inviting to the coaching opportunity because they're just excited about it. They believe in our purpose and what we're doing, and probably number one, the community. I think that in general in our society, the thing that is missing is most right now is connection. And that's what this opportunity provides first and foremost. And then wherever any individual decides to take it from there, they can take it. And the truth of the matter is that, you know, sure, you're going to get some no's, but you're going to get some yeses. And those yeses completely outweigh the no's. And, you know, I want to speak to a couple of things that Lauren just said, you know, because the first thing is, and I totally get it, there are so many products out there, but I'm going to flip the switch a little bit. Why are so many people getting involved in network marketing? It's because we're passionate about our products. We're building businesses. I think that more people than not love the idea of becoming an entrepreneur. They love having their own piece of the universe that they can grow and, you know, make some money from their passions, like turning their passions into a product. I know from a personal standpoint, I was like waiting for an opportunity like this because I have always been really, really passionate about fitness, nutrition, yoga. You know, in fact, I thought maybe somewhere down the line I would get my yoga certification and teach yoga classes and, you know, maybe become a nutritionist. I didn't know where my life was going to take me, but I always thought it would be kind of in that general vicinity, right? But then also, what my actual job was before I was a Beachbody coach is I was an online marketer. And while I was still pregnant with the twins, not a lot of people know this, but I actually was a consultant for an online marketing company in New Hampshire where I ran their Google AdWords, super nerdy, but I basically did all of their search marketing. And I remember saying to Greg, like, I mean, I'm just not passionate about this, but I really would love to help other people. Like, I like the idea of helping people with their businesses. So I really do believe that, like, for me anyway, when I was invited to this coaching opportunity, I didn't realize that it would bring me to this place where I am right now, but it literally has combined my desire to help people grow their businesses from a marketing standpoint, plus it integrates my, you know, love of fitness and nutrition all into one thing. I think there are a lot of people out there that want to turn their passions into a profit. And, you know, Lauren, you know, speaking directly to you, I didn't realize you started your like page for your baking like years ago. And now, like, don't you feel like it just integrates so well into this opportunity? Now you're making like healthy baked goods. You can share all of that. It has Shakeology in them. Like, and you're not starting from scratch. Like, Beachbody has built this amazing business platform for us to go off of and like take a jump board and integrate like our passions into the platform that's already been made for us. I went off on a tangent, didn't I? Does that make sense?
I loved it. Keep going. I'm like getting all these ideas. Don't stop.
But I think each and every one of us can probably, well, maybe not. Maybe this is where some disconnect can be in sharing the business opportunity. Find that thing that triggered you wanting to be a Beachbody coach. Like, how can you integrate yourself and your passions into this? How do you make this business your own? Don't think you have to follow this like robotic like thing where, you know, I must sell Shakeology, I must sell challenge packs. Like, no, like, how are people going to come? Why do people want you as their coach? Like, attract the people that want to build a business with you. I'm sure some of my coaches are like, shoot, I ended up with this crazy lady, but but no, like, make it fun. This is what I mean by making it fun. Make it you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I'm going to talk to you about that.
Okay.
So, let's see. Okay, next one. This one's you, right?
Yes. So I have a fear of growing my network. I don't want to friend people whom I don't already know. It looks salesy. Okay. So again, like what I was saying, the connection thing, this was actually a real fear of mine. So I can speak to this one. But here's the thing. And Meg, you know what? It probably would be good for both of us to share our perspectives on this because everyone does run their business very differently. I actually personally don't friend every single person. One of the reasons that I like my like page is because when I see a new person pop up, I definitely friend them instantly because there was something about my content that they were into and they liked my page. That's automatic. And then I reach out, I thank them for the support and try to connect that way. personal page. I actually will try to view their page, or if we have mutual friends, I am completely 100% comfortable friending them. Today, actually, somebody that bought a program from me, not a challenge pack, a program, posted that they received their stuff in the mail today. We're super excited. There was this girl who was like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking of trying that out. I friended her instantly, reached out to her. Like, you don't have to feel like you have to totally like cold like people out of nowhere. I like the idea of having some sort of connection with them so that you're not making it weird. I remember Carrie actually could maybe speak to this too, that she was chatting with someone that she recently connected with and just said, hey, you know, thanks for accepting my friend request. And she's like, I hope it's not weird that, you know, I connected with you. And she said, actually, it'd be weird if you didn't reach out. Like, I'm glad that you kind of sent me a note and said, hey, what's up? So it's like, you can make it weird or you can make it comfortable. It's completely up to you. You know, don't think about the other person. It has to feel comfortable to you, and then it'll feel comfortable to them too. And secondly, like, think about yourself. I don't know how many people are on Instagram, but do you even think twice about following people on Instagram? Does it even bother you at all? So for some reason, there's this like thing around Facebook where we get really nervous about expanding our network. And I think it's because we feel as though there was no kind of content or anything that connected us, but just kind of go beyond those fears. Like, it's not salesy. You're just if you go in with a genuine attitude and a genuine heart, then it's not salesy. It's just finding a new friend, like sitting at a bar and talking to someone.
I agree. And as long as you're connecting, as long as you're, you know, making an effort to also engage on what that person is sharing, you're not just like, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. And, you know, you have that initial conversation and then they fall off the face of the earth where that person is concerned. It's not weird, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I know that one thing I've done is, like, you know, I encourage my challengers to take the mini challenges and to tag their coaches when they take the mini challenge, whatever it is. I encourage them to share on their personal page, and I'll take a look at who's liking it and who's commenting on it. And if people are showing interest in whatever my challenger is doing, I'll reach out to those people. I'll friend them. And, you know, sometimes if I don't hear back or I don't get an accepted friend request right away, I might shoot them a message, or I might just shoot them a message right after I friend request them to let them know, this is who I am. This is why I'm reaching out. Or I'll say, like, I saw that you commented on a post on so-and-so's post. I'm actually their health and fitness coach. How do you know them? They're a rock star. Like, make it about your challenger and be like, you know, really, you could say, I mean, depending on what the person shares as a comment under their post, you know, you could sort of redirect the conversation to make a comment about what they said, something of that nature. Or, you know, I look at people you may know, and I look at our mutual friends, and I get a feel for their vibe. I mean, I've friended a girl, or no. Yeah, I friended a girl before, and we had a few mutual friends. And the second that she accepted my friend request, she reached out to me and she was like, hey girl, I've actually been like following you for a while and I love your vibes. And I looked at this girl's like cover photo and I was like, it's of sunflowers. We were meant to connect. Like, just random things, you know, like I always make sure to find something that I can like have a comfortable conversation with that person about. And also, you know, if you're connecting with people in interest groups, hello, you have that interest in common. Make sure, you know, that you're engaging on their posts in that interest group. And I mean, honestly, if you share like a well thought out comment on something that they share in an interest group, and you show enough engagement in what that person has to share, reaching out to them and sending them a friend request is not going to be weird. But just, I encourage you to do it right after you comment so that it doesn't look like too weird and spaced out, you know? Like, it just shows, hey, I liked what you shared, I engaged with you, and I'd like to be your friend. So, you know, I know that for a lot of people, growing your network can be scary. I know for me as a teacher, I was so private. Like, I was so private. it wasn't even until after I left my teaching job that I, changed my name on Facebook. So that was my first and last name and not my first and middle name, let alone like adding strangers, that scared me. I definitely waited to grow my network a little late in this business, if you want my honest opinion. But I think I was making it too weird, sort of like what Lindsay was saying. Like if you don't like put this stigma around it, like you said, you don't think twice about following people on Instagram or following people on Twitter, even though Twitter's sort of like a thing in the past, but you know what I mean? You're just reaching out to connect. If you just look at it that way, and you're not a icky salesperson, which you're not. Like, you're not. None of you on this call are an icky salesperson. And, sort of to speak to this, but also to I think it was the previous one. The previous one. I'm not sure how people receive my invites. Like, all of you guys, I am confident, invite in and share this opportunity with grace. I don't know, Lindsay, if you saw, but I posted a screenshot of somebody who reached out to me on Instagram last night. It was an inbox. And she was like, hey, I know this might sound random, but these wraps are on sale. So you can get like this many for this much money this month. And I didn't know if you might be interested. First of all, this person clearly never looked at my Instagram page. She clearly didn't. And my response to her was simply just, hey, I'm actually all set. I prefer to work out for my results, but thanks. Have a great night. And it's like, that's the type of person who should feel icky about reaching out to people. You guys have the training. You have the tools in your toolbox. You know how to connect with people appropriately. Not all Beachbody coaches can say that, but I feel like the people on this team, our larger team, are very fortunate in that we have, a strong upline of people who care about making sure we are sharing this opportunity appropriately. So never doubt your what's the word I'm looking for? Integrity and like your credibility. You're all really good humans. Like you're not doing this for a quick buck. You're doing this because your heart is in the business and you want to help other people. So remind yourself of that, before you go to grow your network or you go to share the business opportunity. I can't emphasize that enough.
No, it's true. And Meg, like, I'll add to that two completely different experiences I've had. One was with someone that I know from like a previous job, and it was they work for Roden and Fields, and it was a very cold invite that just felt like not so great. And I was like, oh, like that didn't feel great. And then I also got a message one time from a friend of mine from high school who does the esogenics. Yeah. And like hers was just a real like, oh my gosh, I see you're a Beachbody coach. It looks like you're having a great time. Like you're doing such great stuff. I'm just wondering like if you love it, because I'm looking to grow my team, and I know it's kind of similar in ways. And she did it very naturally. It wasn't like this weird thing. I knew she was speaking to me. She wasn't trying to force anything, and I didn't get upset at her at all. I responded to her. I'm like, oh, I'm super happy where I'm at. Like, and we caught up a little bit, and it was fine. Like, there's a way of doing it. If you connect genuinely with people, then it's not going to feel icky. And if they still give you crap about it, which no one's ever given me a hard time, ever, like ever. If they do give you a hard time, it's their own problems. Like it has nothing to do with you or your approach. It's just like, it's them. So yeah, ain't no thing.
Ain't no thing. So I think at this point we wanted to, sort of open it up to hear more about, hold on, I'm just going to stop my share so that everybody can see everybody else's beautiful face. We wanted to open it up to people's, thoughts and, their roadblocks that they're having so that we can address anything that maybe we haven't addressed. I'm just reading through the comments now.
Guys, I wanted to kind of also say, like, I know we talked about expanding your network, but make sure you're nurturing your now network too. Make sure you're adding value. Don't forget about the customers you've had. whether it's a monthly email letter or print out your list of customers and just make sure you're checking in with them. But also from the standpoint of your like page, the standpoint of your personal page, like just look at the network you have. Who haven't you connected with for a while? And like look there too, because in a way that's kind of even expanding your network. Like you even talk to someone in a year on your Facebook page, like maybe reach back out and say hello. To me, I still count that as expanding your network in a way because you haven't quite nurtured that relationship. So to me, expanding your network really does also include, have you been nurturing that relationship, making a connection, things like that. So it doesn't also always just mean like friend requests, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. No, I would say that I agree too with that lens. Lauren asked, would you say that teachers are more interested in listening to your Beachbody experience than others? So Steph said that she has found that they are. A number of her coworkers and customers and more people decide to try all the time. They're good connections to follow up with. For me personally, so when I became a coach, it was in October of my first year as a teacher. And I don't know, I felt weird sharing it with people in my workplace for whatever reason. That was just me. But, people from my workplace did end up, coming on with me. I actually had a rock star coach who was the reading specialist at my school, and she was like killing it. And then she was like, I can't do it. Like my kids are nuts, and like fell off the face of the earth. I was devastated. But I think that, I think in general, teachers definitely are interested in learning about the experience, because I feel like this just comes very naturally to us because we're teachers, like the skill set of teaching people how to grow their team or teaching people how to live and lead healthy lives. I feel like teachers typically, have like this creative side to them too. So when it comes to creating systems or creating projects or making things visually appealing, like we have fun with that. So I don't know. I mean, I would definitely say that teachers are definitely people you want to connect with. I mean, our top coach was a teacher, rather. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people in this business. There was one Super Saturday, not this last one, but the one before. And I don't know how many of you were at a Super Saturday or how many of you saw the corporate video from it, but I just remember turning to somebody at the Super Saturday and being like, oh my gosh, so many of these testimonials from this corporate video are of successful teachers. And that just like, I was like, well, it makes sense, because I feel like just the skill set that teacher, and I don't know if you're talking specifically about the health and fitness side or if you're also talking about the business side, but I feel like teachers also, especially in the summertime, they might be looking for that side gig. Teachers are always looking for side gigs, because let's face it, teachers never go into what they do for the money. Am I right? Like, we don't really make much money at all. So whether they're looking for a tutoring job or something else, like, and our day ends early, Granted, I feel like, teachers who have families, they might want to get home more to their families and spend time with their kids. But single teachers, yeah, we're always looking for money. And we're always looking for an opportunity to help people.
Yeah. I think that's it too, is that they like naturally have this ability, like their hearts are, amazingly huge in that way. And Lauren, I think we have a couple teachers on the team too. I know, Stephanie Bierce works at a school, and also Stephanie Mossman, her Facebook name is Stephanie Michelle. So you could always reach out to her too. She was one of Cole's teachers. And she's been doing amazing in the business too. And just the heart, seriously, like the hearts are like this big. But she's done a great job too of integrating both her like teacher world and with her Beachbody world. And it's just like it's a beautiful thing. So, But I think that's the point, is like, maybe that's because sometimes naturally with teachers that happens because teachers know their passion is teaching. But I kind of challenge all of us, like we all have a passion. We all have a passion like that I think we can, marry the two together. our Beachbody world with our passion. And if you don't find that, I really think it's challenging. I think that's when you do hit these roadblocks. And when you do kind of hit the roadblock of not wanting to share the opportunity. But then once you start to realize that like this can catapult you to actually, doing what you've always wanted to do, then that's where the magic happens. And that's where you want to share that opportunity with other people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Are there any other roadblocks that like we didn't address that are holding you back from sharing the opportunity or from seeking out, those people who are going to want to be like you and, be a business builder and not just sort of like dabble in this and like, sit on their thumb, for lack of a better word, not to be,
And like, I'll be honest, guys, you're probably not going to attract someone who is going to want to take the business further than you want to take it.
Oh,
so like,
absolutely.
I kind of want you all to kind of think of it that way too. Like, don't expect that you're going to attract somebody who's going to, you know what I'm trying to say? Like really, really hone in on where you want to take this, where your beliefs lie. Because I think that makes a difference because people feel that energy too.
Mm-hmm. So, Linz, maybe you want to take that?
I can't say this too loud, but do you have earphones in? I'll talk to him. Lauren, I'll talk to him. No, honestly, we can always chat, and Greg will chat with him too, because like, I like, thankfully, it was actually Greg's idea for me to start the business. Like, I was like, I don't know, like Heather asked me to do this, and what do you think? He's like, well, I mean, I love Shakeology. If you could make a few bucks to help pay for it, and you really love this stuff, you like fitness and nutrition, like why not give it a shot? And now it's helping us. It's helping us. It's a paycheck every week, and it's an outlet for me, and I get to have friends. You know me, Lauren, how often I'm like, sorry, I can't make it to the play date, like got crazy kids. So this is like this is my friends, my peoples, like all of it together, all the different angles, like it's just worth it to me. But honestly, we can talk offline, and like happy to chat about that too.
And you're not the only one. I mean, we hear all the time that, there's skepticism and whatnot. So.
And there was actually a call that Liz Hartke and her husband Michael did that I could send to you, Lauren, about that exact topic. And it was speaking to spouses. And actually Cindy went to, at Summit, a workshop about that too. So I'm sure she'd be happy to share some of her takeaways from that workshop as well. It's about supporting your spouse and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Any other roadblocks? Feel free to unmute yourselves too if you want to speak on any roadblocks. Things that you're maybe feeling like you're not confident enough with.
And I'll be honest, guys, like this is one of my favorite parts of the business is helping to talk through some of this stuff. So like if anybody on the call doesn't quite know where they fit within this business opportunity and they're trying to figure out where their thing is, like I am always happy to chat with you. So that. Cool. Well, thank you everybody. And thank you, Meg. I'm glad we got to do this together.
Thank you, my friend. This was good stuff.
Awesome. All right. Well, everybody have a great night. And if you think of anything afterwards, you know where to find us.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.